Yeah, just give me the okay. Rip.
All right.
All right, cool. Still don't really understand how we're doing that whole thing, but yeah, it sounds like we're on the YouTube situation now. Okay, so let's get started. So, hi, Elsie. Good to see you again, or s- a-
Likewise.
actually see you this time.
True.
Um, so yeah, let's get started. So I'm Owen. I'm from Stream Music. I'm sitting here with us today, Elsie Bay. Elsie is a Norwegian pop artist currently based in Berlin, and she just released her first single through Stream entitled "Don't Think I'm Dying." But so I love the song. First of all, I think I told you that when we spoke. It's really cool, and it starts out quick, gets right to the point. I'm wondering if you could kind of share a little bit more the story on it from a songwriting perspective. Obviously, you make references to New York a lot, so I assume you either wrote it there or it's at least based on experiences from there.
I actually wrote it in London.
Oh,
And I was very tired that day, and it was my first session
I'm Owen. I'm from.
with Barney and Jono that I wrote it with.
Mm,
And we started off like sometimes when we do sessions, we don't really know what we're working for. We could have worked for a dance pitch. We could have done like a pop track for somebody else. Um, but I came in that morning and I was like, well, why don't we do something for me because I need songs. But I didn't have an idea of what to write about, so I had to look through my notes, and I found this old note that said, "Time heals all wounds, but when?" And I didn't really like that idea, but I still pitched it to the guys. And for some reason, like 2 seconds later, when Barney picked up the guitar, then the whole song just kind of came out of me. So it was a really, really great day and very short day as well. I think we left the studio at like 4 or 5.
awesome. Yeah, no, I speaking of that, I was gonna ask you a little later on, but so you do rights for other artists, right? Like you're a songwriter, not just a pure artist, correct?
Correct.
So yeah, it sounds like that kind of happened organically, but is there a different type of mindset you go into when you're writing this song you did for yourself, or would you be writing it the same way as if you were writing for someone else?
Well, usually when I write for myself, I sort of come prepared with maybe like a title or a topic. When I write for other people, I just come with an open mind and I ask them a lot of questions about what they want to write about, try to make it as true to them as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Um, Let me see. So I think we talked about this a little bit on our initial call, but like a lot of your old music had this very like cinematic quality, right? It was very grandiose, and that was kind of the sound you're going for. And this newer song, which I think is also a little bit present on What a Waste as well, you're kind of going in more of a different, more just straight pop or more indie rock almost kind of direction. Was that an intentional choice, or was that just kind of what you evolved into at this point?
I started my career in a duo project called Elsa Amelia.
Mm.
And after we split up, I didn't really know what to do and who I was as a solo artist. And I kind of accidentally fell into the cinematic style when I wrote a song for MGP, which is the Norwegian selection for Eurovision. And then I did a follow-up track for that in the same style, and I did MGP again. And I really like that style, but I think what I've found now is more me, sort of. So yeah, you could say it's evolved into to this.
Okay, cool. Um, so yeah, I was gonna also ask you about kind of Elsie and Emily and how kind of that came together, but also like what differentiates besides it obviously being your the sound from what you're doing there. It sounds like you kind of answer that a little bit, but what kind of is Elsie Bay versus Elsie Emily in terms of like a sonic thing besides just being one individual versus a duo?
But I think obviously, aside from the fact that Amelia played a huge part in Elsa and Amelia, my songwriting has really evolved. She was always like the good songwriter, the good singer. I was more of the tag along girl. And over the past 10 years, my songwriting has really evolved and I feel more confident as a writer now. So now I think I'm more able to actually get my thoughts down on paper. Whereas before I had to like write this line because it rhymed. I couldn't think of a way to make it rhyme with what I really wanted to say. And yeah, so now I'm way more precise in what I want to do.
That's awesome. That makes sense. And I think that translates in what you're performing as well. Yeah, you mentioned the MGP Melody Grand Prix. Um, can you go a little bit more in depth into that? My understanding is that it's a Eurovision selection event. Can you kind of explain how you came to do that, and kind of for people who maybe aren't familiar with Eurovision, like what that is? And
Yeah. So Eurovision is a competition between most European countries who want to enter.
Right.
Basically, one each country sends one song to a huge show in May, hosted by the winner of last year. So this year it's going to be in Austria because Austria won, or 2026 is going to be in Austria because Austria won in 2025. And a lot of these countries, including Norway, where I'm from, and Sweden and Denmark, they have their own TV shows where a lot of artists from that country can compete in becoming that one song that goes to represent their country to Eurovision. So I entered the Norwegian selection twice. I did not win, but I still had a great time. And yeah, I wasn't going to enter as an artist, but I participated on one of these songwriting camps as a writer. And then we wrote a song called Death of Us, and we couldn't find an artist for it. And eventually I just said yes to do it myself.
That's cool. Yeah, so for you're saying for Eurovision, it's one artist representing each country, right?
Yes.
So you didn't get it to that point, but you were in the like range of selecting that person for Eurovision. That's what so you were up against other Norwegians essentially.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we don't really have anything similar to that in the US, but that makes sense. That's really cool to take advantage of all these countries being close by and all that.
I think actually you guys did have something like that. I'm not sure if you did it this year, but a few years ago you tried out something where all the states would compete against each other, but I'm not sure if it actually like
You're my old band actually, we did an interview for that. I remember that, and yeah, I never saw. I think it kind of tanked, was my understanding. I didn't never saw anything, but they did attempt to do that. I don't know if it was somebody from Eurovision, but they did have. I remember the guy we spoke to was somebody who kind of ran those type of things. So you're right, they did try that, but I think it's just not. It's not the same element as like the countries. Obviously, states. There's some pride, but it's there's 50 states. It's easy to get caught up in that. It doesn't same weight, I think, as what Eurovision does. Yeah, going back to just your catalog, I was like listening to your music and I came across What a Waste. I swear I've heard it before. I really love it. I don't know. Was it big on TikTok or on a commercial or something? I just really like super recognized it and I don't know, I just love the song. I thought it was really cool and I want to hear more about that.
Thank you. I'm not sure it did anything big, but it was on a big playlist for like a week back when it was released. So maybe you heard it from there. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I wrote that one in Berlin with a guy called Martin Paul. Um, yeah, very effortless session. I think it was the first session we ever had. And I just had this idea on my phone again, like, what a waste of us. Um, yeah, it just kind of fell out of my brain and onto the paper.
So you mentioned a couple collaborators. Do you have like a set of people that you typically work with, or are you connected through other people, or how does that always come about?
Oh, many different ways. I do have a publisher, I do have a manager. So sometimes when I'm traveling, I will tell them where I'm going and if they could set me in some sessions. Um, I tend to go back and work more with the people that I like, but I also try to stay open and meet new people.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Um, so you're from Norway, as we mentioned a little bit, based in Berlin. But you want to broaden to more of a global audience, and I think you said that the U.S. is an area you especially want to grow in. Listening to your music, I can really identify. I can't really identify that you're from Norway or Europe or anything like that. It sounds very universal. And I was just curious: are you being intentional in having an sort of accessible sound, or is it just that that's the type of music that you just comes to you when you try to create, and it just comes naturally to you?
I think it comes naturally. And probably one of the reasons why it doesn't sound like super Scandinavian is because there aren't a lot of Scandinavians involved necessarily. It might just be down to me.
Yeah.
Uh, like Glenn is German, and the guys that I mentioned before, they're British, and I think one of them is from one of the Caribbean islands or something, which is kind of cool. Um, Caribbean.
Yeah. I think either one. It doesn't have a specific.
um, but yeah, I just try to write what I like. Try to write what I would listen to. I think in the beginning when I was starting an artist project, I was very like um, not insecure, but like wondering if is this a good song? What do other people think? And now I feel like I found that sweet spot where I've made something that I like, so I don't really care if other people like it because I think it's good, and I think that's the place to be.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest place for a lot of artists to get to because they're trying to like make a sound they think is gonna gain an audience, but ultimately, if you're not making something true to yourself, the audience won't resonate with it.
Yeah. So when my manager is giving me feedback now, and he's like, "What about?" and I myself, I don't care. That's good. Good place.
Awesome. Kind of going off of that, since Norwegian is your first language, is writing your music in English an intentional decision then, or is that also just the music you make feels like it lends itself better to being done in English versus Norwegian?
I started out writing in English because of the Elsa and Amelia project.
Mm.
That's what she was doing, so that's what made sense. And I don't think I've ever found my voice in my native language. I've never tried to write for myself in that language. I don't listen to a lot of music in Norwegian. Um, so I think now at this point, I'm just way better at writing in English, and therefore it comes naturally.
Yeah, no, I remember you had said that it's a big thing in Norway that a lot of people are doing songs in Norwegian. I thought that was interesting because I thought that seems like, I mean, English is kind of becoming has been this like lingua franca of the world for a while, where it's the language that everyone tries to learn to communicate. So I find that really interesting. But yeah, I mean that makes sense. But it's that's just so odd to me though that you never made music in Norwegian. You never written lyrics in Norwegian. It's just English is your writing form basically.
Yeah, I mean, I have written in Norwegian for other artists a couple of times, but I don't really, probably because I'm not good at it, because I haven't done it a lot of times, I don't like it as much.
Yeah. And I assume it's a completely different thing because like something that would rhyme or flow well in English, it's a completely different word, so it's not even going to have the same. You have to think in a different brain.
Exactly. So you would think that I'd probably be better at it because it's my native language and I speak it better. But to think in a songwriting way where you have to consider rhymes when you haven't done that before, like, do I even know what rhymes in Norwegian or like could possibly rhyme if I have no clue.
Yeah. No, that's just very fascinating to me because I don't know one language very well, so to be able to do that is very interesting and very impressive. Um, Another thing I noticed on your Spotify bio, I believe you labeled yourself as denim pop. Is that something you made up, or is that something I'm just not aware of? Is that
I
pre-existing?
I made it up. I thought that I should only wear denim. Didn't do that today. For maybe live shows and stuff, and just yeah, I made it up. It's my thing now.
What? Yeah, I can hear that because it's sort of uh, alluding to a blend between kind of pop and sort of there's a little bit of an alternative sound to your stuff, so I can see that kind of being a crossover there.
Yeah, but I think also with denim, it's like very down to earth, very
Right.
not average, but just like everybody has it, everybody knows it. It's like nothing, nothing grandiose in a way.
Yeah. No, that I didn't even think of that interpretation, but that makes a whole lot of sense as well. Um, so can you tell me a little bit about a situation that maybe things didn't go as planned? I mean, it might be the breakup of Emily and Elsie, but just a time that you maybe had to overcome adversity to kind of get to a place where you are now.
Financially, I'm doing not so well these days.
Yeah.
I haven't overcome that yet, but hopefully listen to my song. Yeah, no, I think after Elsa and Amelia, like when we split up, I knew that I wanted to continue music, but I sort of felt like I had to start from scratch. I had no clue who I was musically, and so I sort of just got into writing for other people, a place where I also had to start from scratch. Got into dance music a little bit, and it took me a few years to sort of get into the business for real again, because we had been very lucky and been riding a wave where we got signed to Sony super early. We did festivals, we toured, did TV shows right away, and then I had to sort of go all the way back to the start and find new team members, and yeah, but it was a good journey still.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I'd seen some of your TikToks kind of touching on the kind of disparities between payouts. And I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit more because that is interesting. So have you been a part of songs that have taken off and then for whatever reason you didn't get the publishing or something like that? Has that been a challenge you've been having to deal with?
I think the music industry in general is very chaotic. So I think for everyone, this sort of happens every now and then, and you don't even know about it. Um, like the other day, I just realized that a song that I have on a Korean TV show, I haven't been making any money from because the registrations were done correctly. So we're trying to fix that. I have friends going through this all the time. Um, and then sometimes it's just like you're in business with fishy people and they don't pay you. They forget to pay you. They send you the details. They don't have an email anymore. Yeah, you know.
Wow. So you do have syncs though, then it sounds like you've had your songs played on other uh TV shows and commercials and whatnot.
Yeah, a little bit. That's not my main thing, but it happens every now and then, which is very fun.
This is a good conversation because I mean publishing is something that Stream is trying to add to kind of bridge this gap because there is a lot of confusion I think in that space. And I'm sure you don't obviously work with BMI, CSAC, ASCAP because those are American ones, but I think there is a lot of not education for artists in terms of like doing that process because I speak with a lot of artists who don't even know that that's a thing to register your song. They just are aware of the mechanical royalties and the streams. So I think that's a very good point that I mean if you don't go through these processes you risk losing out on a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also, unfortunately, musicians, we are into the music and not so much into the admin. So it's very easy to sort of just not look at that and just trust your team to be uh, taking care of that for you. But yeah, I think it's always smart to sort of go through everything and check that it looks on paper like it is supposed to.
Yeah, no, speaking of that, do you what's your feeling on having to take on maybe not the admin roles, but having to be your own marketer promoter? Because that's a lot of how independent artists have to start out. They have to, make a lot of content and stuff like that. And I see you doing that. Do you enjoy doing that process? Is it taxing at all? Do you wish that there was another way? Would you rather be all art, or do you find some joy in making those videos as well?
I think once the videos are performing, then it's fun. But
Yeah.
that whole grinding when it's not performing, trying to shift the algorithm a little bit, that's a tough one. I definitely have been questioning whether I should just be a songwriter for other people so that I don't have to spend so much time on content creation. Like I don't even like to do my makeup, and I feel
Mm.
like even that is like, okay, I have to do my makeup and then I have to film this, then I have to find an angle and a caption and but it is part of the job, and I think once, like every time I get into it, it's much easier than when I've had a break for a long time. It's kind of like going to the gym. If
Mhm.
you've done it 5 times this week already, the sixth time it's nothing. But if you haven't gone for 6 weeks, then
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's a really good comparison. Um, Kind of going off of that, what do you think in terms of going into the streaming world? What would be a message? I'm just sorry, I'm just reading from some of our own notes we had for you. If you could leave a message for artists just entering the streaming world who feel like they're shouting into the void, what would you tell them? So that's kind of related to what we're saying. Kind of like, what would you tell an artist that's doing that and they're not getting any progress? Like, is that a sign to give up, or is there a sign that there's still something on the other side of that if you keep on pursuing it?
I think it's important to remember that even if you get 100 views or 200 views on a TikTok, even though you want like 2 million, 200 is way more than zero.
Yeah.
And so everything helps. And it's tough to sort of see that when you're in it and you wish that you had more views, but it's not a failure if you don't have a million views right away. The only failure is if you don't do anything.
Totally, totally. I agree with that. I think that's pretty much what I have for you. Do you have anything else you want to say about the new song?
Go check it out. It's a banger. And come get me if you don't agree.
It is a banger. Yeah, I agree. It's awesome.
Thank you. I like it a
Great.
lot.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you for speaking with me, Elsie. Of
Thank you for having me.
course. We'll talk soon. All right. Thanks, everyone. That was Elsie Bay. She just released her new song, Don't Think I'm Dying, But. And now we got Alex Crichton, who dropped Barcelona last Thursday with us. How you doing, Alex?
Hey, good. How are you? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the last one. I don't know.
No. You're totally good. No worries at all.
Yeah, how are you?
Pretty good. Well, yeah, let me just find the notes I had for you. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, did you still want to do a performance at Barcelona? Do you have a guitar ready or anything?
Yeah, I got a guitar.
Okay, great.
How's the sound? I'm not sure myself. Is it like loud enough or I can turn it up?
Yeah, you sound good speaking right now. I can't guarantee the guitar is going to come well over the stream,
Yeah.
the shot. I know
How
last week when we
can you
did
hear that?
it worked, but yeah, no, it wasn't pristine, but we'll
Okay.
probably see hear your voice, but give it a shot.
Okay, wait, I'll test it out. How does that sound?
Play a little bit more.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear anything.
We can't hear anything.
Yeah. Are you on a electric?
No, I got because I kind of put my mic on my desk. Hold on, give me a sec.
No worries.
Um, what about now? Still now though?
No, that's weird.
Oh,
I'm hearing like a slight delay, but yeah, it's nothing really clear.
oh, hold on. There we go. Try this.
Oh, yeah, it sounds great now.
Okay, yeah. It was cool. I think the Google Meets was like filtering out anything that's not speech.
Oh, okay.
So all right. Yeah, I was getting the performance, then chat a bit after.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, bring it on. This is Barcelona. Well, we were dancing in Barcelona. She took my hand, said, "Will you meet me tonight? There's somewhere I wanna go." Smell of her perfume stuck on the only shirt that I brought. Think that I'll take her home with me if it's all that I got. We went up and down the stone streets till morning when she told me she had to go. But she said, "Oh my, for the rest of my life, I'll be looking for you out there in the parking lots. The cars that drive by, I'll know you're close somewhere. It's not goodbye forever, it's till we're together again someday, I hope. Till then, Barcelona, the place I love the most. Place I love the most. It's getting late now. We left the party and all of our friends. Think we should wander around. We never know when it'll end. We'll sit on the doorstep. Not a single thought in my brain. I don't know where we are, but I know what I want to say. Now I wonder what you're doing on Friday night. If you want to hear from me, or it was something you wanted to try. So I'll say, oh my, for the rest of my life, I'll be looking for you out there. In the parking lots, cars that drive by, I'll know you're close somewhere. It's not goodbye forever, it's till we're together again someday, I hope. Till then, Barcelona's a place I love to go. Place I love to go. She said, oh my, for the rest of my life, I'll be looking for you out there. In the parking lots, in the cars that drive by, I'll know you're close somewhere. It's not goodbye forever, it's till we're together again someday, yeah. Till then, Barcelona. Till then, Barcelona. Till then, Barcelona. Place I love the most. Well, we were dancing in Barcelona. She took my hand. There you go.
Hey, how's it going, man?
That might have been the first time that I sang it live.
Really,
In
really?
front of people, yeah. It was cool.
That is sick. Do you not perform out a lot then? You're mostly
No.
okay.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of time finishing up
Yeah.
school, so uh yeah, between that and then making music, I'd much rather like produce and write songs.
No.
But singing live is something that I think is 100% on my horizon in the next year. Because for the few times I've done it, it's unreal. I love just like connecting with people like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of my my first question seems a little silly now, but I was originally going to ask, have you been to Barcelona? But then I saw your post, and obviously you have.
Yeah, I have.
I don't know if it was just an elaborate thing you made up or what, but
Yeah. No, I have, but I don't know if this it goes into another question, but the song is like not about my time in Barcelona. Um, like I went to Barcelona because I traveled across Europe for a bit, and um, like I loved it, but the song is like inspired by a movie that I saw that happens in Barcelona.
oh,
Yeah, and it just kind of like triggered some kind of like memory, emotions, and then inspired me to write the song.
that's awesome. Wait, sorry, what you said you were traveling for what?
So I was on exchange during university, so
Oh,
I went and lived in France for about like 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and just traveled around everywhere. I went to Barcelona. It was unreal.
that's awesome.
Um, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So that's sweet. Yeah, no, because we talked about the French thing. So you are serious about French a little bit, then it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I speak French.
Was that part of why you did the exchange? Because you already knew it, or to work on it more, or was it just you wanted an opportunity to travel?
Um, a bit of traveling and a bit of I already like I speak it. I'm pretty bilingual, so
Wow,
um, so it was like just kind of a bonus instead of going somewhere and like having to learn a whole other language. I thought, okay, I'll stick to what I know, but something different.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm definitely happy. I'd recommend anyone who's like considering to do like an exchange or like if you a job abroad or something. I think it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was in Berlin for a month. It was definitely
Yeah, I didn't get to Berlin. Germany was top of my list because all my friends were from Germany and they're
no.
just the most awesome people ever. But I never made it to Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. I was blown away. I thought I was crazy for wanting to go there because it feels kind of random. It's not as kind of, you know, like I feel like in culture, it's not like, oh, Germany is the sexy place to go. Like it's not really,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
but it's
never know.
awesome.
Depends who you ask.
Exactly. But yeah, so you're fully solo act essentially. You write, record, and even mix and master your own music. I was just curious, how long did it take you to get to that point where you're able to do that now, and what was kind of the learning curve?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm still learning. I'm still on the learning curve. But I do everything like right here where I'm standing.
Hmm.
I got like a MacBook, like an interface off of Amazon and a mic. That's pretty much it. A guitar too. But it started. Oh, how did it start? It's been so long. I think it was in high school. I had gotten into like Shawn Mendes and Ed Sheeran. And I had like I had no idea like how anything in music worked. Like it's like starting from zero. I just knew there were songs on the radio that I liked, and then there's this guy Shawn Mendes who was like somehow famous because he had good songs that I liked. So that's how I kind of got into music and like decided like really learn how to like sing. Like I practiced a lot, practiced guitar, learned like playing any John Mayer song I could find, and then um like the major learning curve is I discovered this guy named Phineas who produced Billie Eilish and learned like that kind of opened the whole world of like what people were doing this like anyone could do this like because they were making Ocean Eyes in their bedroom.
Yeah,
And I watched every single interview, like every single YouTube video. I'm like, what? I'm like, how is this like possible? Then started making beats. I don't know, that's how I started. Started making like trap beats with my friends on this
yeah.
free program I had on my like Windows computer called LMMS, which is a ripoff of FL. But it's just like it was free. And then honestly, from there, just repetition. Like I was obsessed. I still am, but I was obsessed with like writing songs, and then every song I wrote, I wanted to record it, and I wanted to like make it sound the same. Um, and then yeah, upgraded to a MacBook, got Logic, and then it's just like that was like the big leagues. You can kind of do anything once you get there. And man, I like just been learning any like YouTube. I've probably watched every single tutorial there is on YouTube on like producing how to do this, how does like a compressor work, and then you kind of get into like how to mix, right? Like how to make a sound. And then I think it was just like years of that. And then 2022 or 21, um, I had a song called Out of Time I wrote and I recorded it and um, it felt good enough about it to release. And it was kind of, I was just more like, and this is still my like my mentality now. It's just, if you got a song that you think like you like, why not just put it out, see what people think. And yeah, ever since then, it's just been any kind of resource I can find that'll help me get better at producing, recording, mixing, mastering. Um, watch that. Try to incorporate in the next song. But yeah, that's the long answer. But is
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing. So
yeah.
high school was when you first got into it? So,
High school, during the pandemic, I would say,
wow. It just
2000,
it,
2020.
how recently that was.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
because it kind of sounds like, I didn't know if you had started when you were a kid or like for it to be that kind of recent is pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it takes up a lot of my day. Like
Yeah.
I'm confident in saying I'm obsessed with it. Like in the most like uncreepy way. I'm like I'd say I'm a nerd about production and anything like related to making a song.
That's great.
But I mean, I love it, right?
Yeah. No, that's an awesome place to be. But on a similar note to that, I was kind of
Mhm.
curious if you could outsource one part of being an artist, what would that
Yeah.
be? Whether it be the mixing, mastering, or even marketing,
Mm,
scheduling content, like what's something that you would maybe not do all yourself if you had the funds to support that?
yeah. Um, like before what I'll say is to me, I love control over my stuff.
Yeah.
Like to give up something, it would have to be like extreme communication, and I would have to be like in the room or on Zoom every time they make like an adjustment. Like I think one part that I would love to outsource in the future, if it happens, is mixing.
Hmm.
I think my mixing is pretty like regular. I'm not doing crazy stuff. I don't know any like the expert tricks or and I think I tend to overthink stuff a lot. So I think having someone like professionally like mix my tracks, and use like have it sound like industry, like I don't know, like that sound when you hear like a Benny Blanco song come out and it's like shiny and it's perfectly balanced. I'd love to hear what like the difference is if someone like a professional mixer
Yeah.
would mix my stuff. Um, but again, I've looked into it. I mean, my songs have like 150 stems on them, so I don't know anyone who would I don't know
Wow.
anyone who would.
So that's interesting. So you're really layering a lot of sound. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and that's also something I'm trying to like cut down on, but honestly, it's more just like I'm huge into like drum layering, like probably 50 of those are just like drum layering or something, like 40 to 50 are just drums or like little like ear candy things. Like it's a lot of just stuff like that. Um, but I also layer like a lot of like electric guitars. There's always like some kind of uh like thing coming in and out.
Mhm.
Vocal stacks too. I think it might sound like my choruses. There's never just one of me singing.
Wow.
But yeah, it ends up to be like 100, and um, the price is pretty steep for those. So that's actually why that was actually why I like
No, that's a
decided
good
to learn it. Yeah.
point. Because I was thinking. I mean, I feel like, oh, maybe the most you would say is like 10, 150. That's a lot. That's hard for me to
Yeah.
realize because you're basically doubling every instrument to a certain extent,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Even the bass, even that, or is that?
I do. I do. If you want to get into like the nitty gritty, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of like tricks and like tips that I've seen like on YouTube from people like Jack Antonoff. I know I learned from Jack Antonoff one thing with the bass is um actually the chain smokers also do this is they'll have like a completely dry like just regular bass like like if you were to play a bass and record it so it doesn't sound like deep, it sounds kind of like an unplugged
Yeah,
guitar. And then on top of that they'll have like a synthetic bass which is like a virtual instrument. um for anyone who might not know, it's like just a virtual bass where that's like really the deep part. So now you've got like a layered. You hear the top end of the strings, but it's like it fills it in a really clean way. And then on top of that, for like choruses and stuff, um, if you want the chorus like really hit, you can put like another just sub bass, which is just a super low frequency, like just for like a hard hitting part in the chorus. So, um, I mean, yeah, once you layer stuff like that and for drums and bass, and then synths, and then it starts to add up. But yeah, I like to use like all those like funky things that you see in YouTube videos and see if it'll help my song. Like I think that's really cool.
yeah. Well, you've already like listed a bunch, like Ed Sheeran and Shawn Mendes. You said now Jack Antonoff and Phineas. You really
Yeah.
are like it. That's cool because it sounds like you really are just trying to learn from the best of the
Yeah.
sound you want, which is perfect. Because
Yeah.
I didn't even think of the Shawn Mendes or Ed Sheeran influence, but obviously now that makes perfect sense. And just to see that you're kind of because you don't. it doesn't sound like you're copying them, but you're just taking kind of the elements of what makes them great and applying it
Yeah.
to your own stuff, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, like when I make a song, I just want it. Like I think I started making music because I was like, I love this music so much. I want to like make something I also
Yeah.
like there's not enough of it for me, so I'll just make more. That's like that's kind of how I see it sometimes where I'm like, I just love this so much. They're not like I've listened to it all. Let's make something that I'll also love. Um yeah.
That's great. I think a lot of artists think like that too, actually. It's just kind of like the like if you can make your favorite song, why not make it?
Yeah.
Like because
Yeah.
you have more control. It's like, okay, this song resonates with me, and let's make a song that's actually about me, and like,
Yeah.
it'll work and see if it can apply to the masses in the same way,
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to kind of loosely, oh, I think I forgot to introduce. I think I forgot to say you're based in Ontario, right? You're
Yeah.
from Ontario, Canada.
Ottawa, yeah.
Oh, Ottawa. Sorry, is that within?
It's in Ontario. You nailed it. Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, I just want to go into that a little bit because you're a Canadian artist, and I feel like Canada and America sometimes often get lumped together, but they're
Yeah.
obviously different countries. So I'm a bit curious about maybe growing up in Canada and how that affected you musically and just in your life in general. And then we were speaking about the French thing. That's also obviously a different influence that you have that we don't have here in the US. But I'm just kind of curious, like, what about your experience feels maybe uniquely Canadian, if anything, in terms of being an artist?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think I think growing up I never saw like Canadian artists versus American artists. Like obviously now growing up and like being like realize that you like I'm like extra proud that we got like Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes, like Drake and like people who kind of like are big and
Yeah,
started from like small places in Canada. But honestly, I think in terms of musical influences, like how it's influenced my music, I just think music is music.
yeah,
Um, like I've never really been like, oh, I like them because it's like this is Canada. It's more just like if music speaks to you, it speaks to you. And it's a bonus if they're Canadian too, because then you're like, oh, I can identify with like it's possible a bit. I think that might have been a way it influenced kind of my belief, seeing like really admiring, like I said, Shawn Mendes, really being like, wow, like he started like in Canada in his room, and now look what he's doing. Like, because I think there was like a big kind of like stigma where, you got to go to like Hollywood if you're not born around there, like New York. It's really tough to like have any sort of impact and grow. But I think as I kind of grow up and you see those artists do it, um, I think it gives you a lot of like hope and belief and ties into that like you can do it from anywhere
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I guess I was also thinking like, because I know, are you familiar with Bruce Coburn at all?
The name sounds familiar. I don't think I know any of his songs
He's,
though.
he's an example of like somebody who's kind of like he was kind of like a Bob Dylan or a Leonard Cohen, but he's
Okay.
Canada, and because he's much like there's just certain artists that are I think just happen to be much bigger in a certain place. I was curious if there was maybe an influence you had that like when you mention them to an American person, they're like, "Who's that?" But
Mm,
sounds like who you've been listening to have been people that have been kind of globally accepted for the most part.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did have a lot of influences growing up that my parents would play that were maybe like smaller. Um, I'm trying to think that were maybe smaller. Actually, there's one that's from like Quebec. It was a French group, and this was like one of the first groups that I was in. It's called like Mix Four or Mix Quatre in French. Um, and it was basically one of those like shows, almost kind of like The Voice, where they get a group of people. Um, but instead of it being a competition, they like just make an album together.
Awesome.
And I used to like love watching that show, and I would like sing like I like knew all the songs that they were doing. And I do like my school projects on like their songs. Um, but yeah, I think all the music over the years is kind of just blended in to
Yeah.
like I just want to make something that I like something where I listen to it like this is dope.
Yeah. You alluded earlier to being a student, so you're a college student, which I think makes this even kind of more impressive to me. So I'm curious. So it sounds like you're at the end. Are you a senior? Is this your last semester, last year?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So I was curious, also if you are open to sharing what major you are in, because I'm curious, is this because you seem like you take your schooling very seriously, which is great, but does that mean that you're still kind of pursuing your like the degree in whatever you're studying, and music's just kind of a happy accident? And I assume kind of when you started college, maybe the music wasn't taking off as much. So do you want to do both of them, or do you have kind of like, if you had to take a choice right now, you do music full time?
Yeah. So I'm a marketing major, like a business degree, but major in marketing. Um, and I think like I went into marketing because I just love like the creativity of it, and I wasn't like 100% sure. I knew that I liked music, like I said, like since high school, and I was like, well, of like what I like about music is the creative part, and if anything, this will help music. Um, to answer the second part, I mean, like my dream obviously is to just pay the bills, release music,
Yeah.
play shows. Um, and I think there's a thing like there's a really like famous independent artist called Russ, and he's
Hmm.
like, yeah, if you're paying the bills from music, like that's success, like you made it. And I think that's obviously my dream. But like you were saying, I mean, obviously coming out of high school, I don't even think I had a song out yet. I was kind of posting covers on TikTok, had maybe 8,000 followers or something. So I wasn't really gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna do this like bet the house. Because I knew I still had like a lot of work to do and stuff. So yeah, did marketing, but now obviously, um, I've come a long way from coming out of high school and in my music trajectory. I still think like, I don't even know if this is the start even. Like I still think this is very like ground zero for what I plan to do. Um but yeah, like the my absolute dream would be to do this for a living, be able to like be comfortable and make music, because I think at the end of the day it's just um you just want to be like you just want to be comfortable in your choice. And like Rick Rubin, who's a like crazy creative genius, he's like, some people you need a job to be able to create, like a job outside of music to be able to create your authentic music. Because like if you're struggling, some people can't do that. So I don't know. I'm kind of
Yeah.
figuring it out, see where things go. But like I said, I like marketing, which is why I like music as well, and I love promoting my stuff on TikTok and like finding like new ways. So I like both. So to me, I don't see why I can't like pursue both. And if one takes off, then follow that. But yeah, I think marketing and music are two things I would be doing regardless like I would be finding. I'd be looking at scrolling on TikTok, being like, man, they could have improved on this ad. Like they could, or I'd be listening to a song, being like, ah, like I'd be writing, like I'd be doing it regardless. So um, I like both, but I think my number one plan A is make music and do that for forever.
Well, that's really impressive to me that you think you're at the ground zero, because you're still, I feel like you're in a place where you're really like taking off. I think it's so hard for a lot of artists to even get to the level you are. They
Yeah.
they chase this for so long. So you're already at a, I mean, obviously always can get bigger, but you're already at a point where like the fact that's where your mindset is, I think is just shows how driven you are to
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't mean it as like a diss to
I
anyone
wasn't.
who's. I'm just thinking like in my head, like
Yeah.
my self belief is like up here. So like to me, I think I'll always think that like I'm just getting started. Um, but yeah, no, I've come. I think I've come a long way. Like when I think of like where I started even a year ago. Like a year ago today, um, is like kind of like a funny story. A year ago today, I was like kind of starting to give up on music. And I was just like, this is gonna be like a hobby, focus on school, and then um, released a Christmas song that did well, and then things things like completely changed. But yeah, all I meant by that is like I know I can still make like much better music. There's a lot of underscore stuff. That's all I meant by that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that you're
Yeah.
being consistent, but yeah, no, I'm just saying it's impressive. I mean, you having that mentality, I think, just shows that you're gonna do well because you're that driven to get there. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about Merry Christmas, I Miss You. So it sounds like
Yeah.
you answered that, but gonna ask, like, did you have any inkling or any idea when you made that, like, oh, this is gonna be hit, this is great, or was it just felt like another song?
No, it's the craziest song I've ever like. Um, kind of just is a testament to when you get out of your own way and you should make something to make like for yourself. Um, it's like the best art because no, I had another song that I actually put out right after called Coffee. So I
Mm.
made Coffee and I was like, all right, I'm gonna release Coffee in like December or something. Um, and then I was listening to that Bleacher song, Merry Christmas, Please Don't Call, which but if you know my song, you know that song. Um, and so and I listened to it and I was like, man, I want to make a Christmas song. Then I heard that song and what I loved about it was it's a Christmas song, but Christmas is kind of like the background. Like it's about something completely unrelated to Christmas, but just in the context of Christmas. And I love that because I don't want to write like a cheesy Christmas song. To me, that wasn't interesting. So I literally wrote that song. I think I was about to go to bed. I was sitting on my bed right there and wrote it kind of wrote it kind of like all at once. Like my writing process is weird. I kind of just spin around in circles with my voice memos app until I find the words and I keep going. Um, and yeah, I came up with the chorus. So what if I call? And then um, wrote it probably like 20 minutes, I think, like 20, 30 minutes
Yeah.
before going to bed. And then the next day, like listened to it, finished up the second verse, and I think I recorded it, produced it in like a week. Like it was very just like this feels right, move on. This feels right, move on. Like not really thinking of anything. Like, and then at the end, I was like, I in my head, I was like, hey, I have coffee. I like coffee, but now I have this Christmas song. I'll put it out as like a bonus. Like I'll just put it out like I think December 2nd. It was like, all right, I'll put it out, and then people just like loved it. Um, People loved it like like on TikTok. It was like going crazy. So I was like kind of surprised, but yeah, that's kind of how it happened. So it was just super fast, like whatever feels right, kind of like a last minute idea. And I was putting it out as like a bonus thing people might like, and it ended up being like by far my like most listened to song. And then I ended up putting Coffee after just because I liked it still. But yeah, it was cool. That's how it happened.
That's cool. So were you, because I know we've talked about your TikTok process and kind of like if a song does well, you put it out. Were you teasing this song, or was it just something you just put out and then teased after?
No, no, I don't really. I try not to tease songs too much.
Okay.
Because I think I don't know. I've tried both, and I think from a like I'm very business minded. Once I'm done the song, it's like I'm business minded. So in my mind, if people are gonna like the song, I want the song to be out so they can go right away and listen to it. And they can like add it to their playlist right away. Because I think I just think with my songs, I wouldn't want someone to be super hyped for a week and then get tired of waiting and then be like mad at me and then like I just think it's more effective for me and it's more pleasant for a fan if you hear the song and you're in love with it and then you can go listen to it and then
Yeah.
you become so much more in love with it. So no, I just kind of put it out, like finished it and I was like, good enough. This sounds good to me. Put it out. And yeah, didn't really tease it. Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of happened.
Yeah, no, I know we talked about that, sort of the Nick D method of sorts of like,
Yeah, that's actually where I got it from. Like I said, I listen to like every podcast with like Nick D, Connor Price, Russ. Um, yeah, they're huge on that. I just like put it out, just put the song out. Like Russ did like a song every 2 weeks at some point, which is insane.
yeah,
And he's like, yeah, you finish it, put it out, next one, put it out, next one, put it out.
yeah.
I think Somber does that too, actually. I think Somber.
You had told me that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's actually this band I like, kind of, they just did it as a one-off thing, but it's basically a solo act, but it's called Into It Over. It's kind of like an email thing, and he did a song a week for a year.
That's it. As a band too.
Well, it was technically like it's a band, but it's one guy. It's kind of like Tame Impala. It's like that type of situation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like he just has a moniker, but it's one guy. But I haven't listened to the whole thing because it's so long. But it's actually like my favorite stuff that he's done. Is the interesting stuff about it. It's just
Wow.
you just do it. It just comes out.
Yeah.
That's cool because to talk about it a little bit because it's kind of opposite maybe conventional knowledge of what you hear because I think
Yeah.
because I've had artist friends who have made a career out of TikTok and like I know at least in one of their cases they teased the song for a month, did the pre-save thing, and it was the first single. They had this thing. Oh, shout out Busy. I'll just mention her. I used to play in her band. She had the song called Anybody. She was in a car just doing like this thing on TikTok, and then she did the pre-saves. And I remember I performed like with her. I played her like single release show, not thinking that much of it. And her friend was looking at like her Spotify for artists, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I was like, what? Like she had like 100,000 streams the night of, and I was like, are you serious? Like I was like,
Yeah.
I was like blown away, and it just blew up from her doing that method. So that clearly does work, but it's just kind of I think it's just trial and error and whatever works. But if it works. It works, but yeah, I think it's interesting that you can see success from that. But then I've also seen I think I've probably seen more cases of that kind of not working because artists get in their own way where they're just persistent with that method and they don't really respond to like or they don't acknowledge like the lack of fan engagement or whatever and just kind of like this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to push it. But if nobody's responding to it, then it's kind of all for naught. So sometimes you have to put something out, and then I think you're able to not get yourself as worked up because if you're putting all your eggs in one basket with this song and you're pushing it and then it doesn't deliver, you're going to be defeated, and to have to do that process again is overwhelming. So I think to do what you're saying of just kind of putting a song out and kind of removing the expectations and then it might overperform kind of is a good way to approach it as well.
Yeah. And I think no one's an expert in anything. Like anyone who says this is the right way, no one knows. And everyone's a genius when it works.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I learned. So I mean, I have friends who are putting out like their first single ever, and they're like, "Should I tease it for 2 weeks, for 1 week? Should I just put it out?" And I'm like, "You're never like, just I'm huge for." And I've talked to Matt about this. Matt is also like this. Just try something. Like, write down all your options, check them off. All right, try this. Next one, try this, and then you just need one to work. But yeah, I think that's super cool. Like you can just do what feels right, and then if it doesn't work, try something else next time. I think that's how people get out of their own ways. You just try it and don't think that that's the way. Like this is the ultimate one. If it doesn't work, then we're screwed. You know.
Exactly. And going back to your songwriting process a little bit, do you have a consistent reason of like knowing when a song is done, or is it just kind of situation based? It sounds like you said sometimes you let it happen. Sometimes I assume it takes months to finish, right?
Yeah. My process is a little weird. It's changed a lot. Like when I was learning, definitely like high school, first, second year of university, I was super like, I'm gonna sit down. I have to finish a song. Like I'm gonna write this. Like then I'd sit down and be like, okay, what am I gonna write about? I think people should do that. I think that's like how you build the muscle of building the story and like finding like like making it sound like a song. But now it's a lot more kind of inspiration. Like I'm always writing stuff down if I'm on the bus or just walking around and I see something or even sometimes pops into your brain. Like you think, oh, that'd be a cool I'll remember this, like a feeling or something. So I'm huge with writing little notes down in my notes. But to write a song, usually it's just something that I think of, something that speaks to me, and then you kind of feel it. You're like, okay, I feel like, for lack of a better term, I feel inspired. Like, I feel inspired, and then you kind of write it down. But my process is I'll usually sit we have an old piano in the living room here, or a guitar, and usually start with like the chorus because I think the chorus is always the most interesting part for me. And I see all my songs as forever. I see all my songs as like a movie or a music video. So to me, the chorus is like the big dramatic part in the music video where it's like the guy breaks up with the girl and it's like, oh, and then once you've done that, then I love going into like uh like the story, which is to me the verse is like the story. So kind of like you can see it in Barcelona. It's like you're dancing in the streets, like you're talking on like the doorstep, and that's kind of like the details that you would see in the music video.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kind of now it's a little more spontaneous, less forced, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so what were kind of the steps that like led you then coming to stream, and like what made you want to chat with us and going through this process?
Yeah. So I'm part of a program called ACL, which is really cool. Ran by a guy named Andre. Shout out Andre Hurd because he's amazing. But it's basically like a community of artists that have been accepted to this program and have like a bunch of meetings every week, and you kind of just help each other grow, like give each other ideas. Andre's like super knowledgeable guy, so you can run anything by him. Like if you got demos, he'll give you A&R notes. You got a marketing strategy, like okay, we'll figure out what the posts are. And then there's guest speakers. So Matt, who works for Stream, came and gave presentation on Stream. I thought it was super cool because I'd been offered a ton of like distribution deals, but they were for like a long period of time, or they took a giant like chunk of money out. So I'm taking any of those, and he presented Stream, and I thought it was like really cool. Hadn't really heard anything like that, and then yeah, kind of got connected through Andre that way, and met the entire team, which was also just like super cool. Like met Jeff, um, and yeah, and I just honestly believe that you guys like believed in my music. You guys wanted to push it, and with like the Christmas season coming around, I really wanted to try to get like on like Christmas playlists. Like that was part of my like goal. I'm like, it'd be so cool if I'd be on like one of the big Christmas playlists that like my friends will throw on at a Christmas party, and it's like, I think that would just be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then communicated that with you guys. You guys were like, yeah, we agree. That'd be awesome. Um, and yeah, just decided to transfer over some of the songs and try to get the songs out to more people, so more people can hear them.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear all that. Yeah, no, just to wrap up then,
Yeah.
what are kind of your next steps? Do you have other songs in the docket? Obviously, yeah, we're trying to push Merry Christmas, I Miss You, but do you have any other new releases that you're gonna be releasing with us in the near future?
Yeah, I'm always working on new stuff. Yeah, right now I'm focused on kind of the Christmas stuff. Just released Barcelona, so I'm super excited to share that with people. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much for sure, but there's definitely like an EP or a bigger body of work in my future. Um, the timing again depends on how things are going, but definitely an EP, if not ton of singles. I got a lot on deck that I'm just trying to get through whenever I have time. So yeah, it's gonna be. This was a big year. I'm gonna try and make next year a bigger year.
Yeah, because you haven't done an EP yet, right? That would be the
Oh
first
yeah,
large
yeah.
release.
I want to so bad. I just honestly I get sidetracked, or I end up loving one song so much that I just want to put it out right away. And
Yeah.
then but no, yeah, it's definitely I'd love to make something that's like give like my listeners more than just one at a time, because I love it. I think my sweet spot is like four or five songs or something, where an artist will put like 4 or 5 songs and you listen and you have time to like actually listen to each song. Because I feel like in an album sometimes, and obviously albums are great, but it takes a lot of time to like listen to each one individually. Um, so I think like 4 songs. I'd love to put 4 new ones, and then maybe rework two, like an old one or 2 old ones.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us that little preview. But yeah, sounds good. Well, yeah, great speaking with you, man. I mean, I'm pumped about this song. Excited about
Yeah.
the work we're gonna be doing together. Yeah, thanks for speaking with me.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy to be here and excited for what's to come.
So sounds good. All right. Well, we'll talk soon.
All right.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a great rest of your day on.
You too. You too, Alex.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. that concludes this Feature Friday. We should be back next week with some other artists. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Just stop the recording.